Hello and welcome to the eMAM Playbox Neo webinar. Today, my name is Chuck Bulow. I'm with eMAM, and today we're going to be talking about doing some capture to Playout full workflows using eMAM and Playbox Neo solution. And so in the combined solution, being able to capture media, schedule capture media, and so on, and then be able to import that into the eMAM system, and then prep the media, edit the media, and so on, and then also then send to Playout to the Playbox Neo system as well. So again, my name is Chuck Bulow. I'm the VP of Business Development here at eMAM, and Plamen has joined me. Plamen, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hello, everybody. My name is Plamen Georgiev. I'm a Playbox Neo demo artist, and today I would love to go over and present the joint solution, the integrated workflow with eMAM. As you know, probably we have probably Chuck wants to continue with your presentation, or I should jump in. Sorry.
No, actually, I'll go through the agenda and then we'll kind of go through the list here.
Okay, please do so.
Okay. So what we're going to talk about today is, first off, we'll go through, Plamen will go ahead and go through all the Playbox Neo recording capabilities, baseband or streaming capabilities, some of the unique configuration that eMAM and Playbox Neo have put together, where we're actually encoding into an original codec that you've selected within their system, and then also their system will be creating a proxy for us during the record, which is great because once the recording starts, you get the original and the proxy being created, and once it stops, the media then is available directly into and being able to go in and import into the eMAM system without any additional transcoding. The other nice thing too is with the Playbox system, Plamen will show you the automated scheduling and manual records and so on. And what we have in this workflow is we have a watch folder that is used to then actually ingest the media automatically, utilizing some of the metadata and markers and information. We'll go over that, but marker information that Playbox Neo is able to add to the media before it gets to the eMAM system. And then through the watch folder, we would actually then monitor the media as it stops recording and go ahead and import that into eMAM. So eMAM is a media asset management system. We then organize all of that preview of the recorded media. We actually then organize the content, allow then editors remotely or local editors to be able to then edit that content, say using Adobe Creative Cloud Suite. And then you're able in the eMAM system then to prep it for Playout. So gathering up all of the information, all the media that you're going to be sending out to the Playout system, the Playbox Neo playlist system, and be able to then also add metadata and very key metadata that will then show up in the Playbox Neo system. Then Plamen will actually show you then on the Playbox Neo system to then how the playlist that we create in eMAM on when we deliver the media or deliver an XML, he'll import that media or that XML into the Playbox Neo system, and then be able to then play out that media and then reorganize the media and so on. So again, a complete solution from recording to Playout and everything in between with regards to edit. So Plamen, I'm going to go ahead and switch over to Team Viewer. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the system here. So with that, let me escape real quick, go over here, and away you go. There you go.
Hello guys. Okay, so let me just go over the couple of the components we have here in our Neo suite of products. So we're presenting today the very basic setup of channel in a box, which consists of Playout, which is this particular application airbox, which allows me to set up a list of files. They're played in this order. I can do some automation tricks and so on. In this case, I'm using this as a source to my ingest interface. In the ingest interface, I can specify a large number of input outputs. Currently, I have the virtual output of the Playout system, but I can set any NDI stream, regular RTP, STD, SRT streams, physical video card like Blackmagic or Aja, and with this I can then choose as my source for recording. Also, in the settings for ingest, we have a number of templates that we can set up. One very important is naming template, which tells how do I want the files to be named, if I need anything specific. And in our case with eMAM, we create two naming templates. One is for the original file and one for the proxy. And this way, the system just utilizes this information right away when it's transferred from Playbox Neo suite to the eMAM system. Another very useful feature is auto transfer templates. What this feature does is once recording is finished, it can be transferred automatically to the location specified. In this case, this is the eMAM cache folder where the system will pick up the files, and I selected move in order to clear up my local storage. So once it's recorded, the record is stopped for this particular file automatically is moved. This is very useful because it's kind of set it and forget it. Okay, so the other part is obviously I can have multiple presets for the formats I want to record. I have a couple of profiles here set for my original and my proxy. So if I go here, you can see I have an input, but this is in manual mode. Let me just show you in scheduling mode, which is very similar. So if I want to add new scheduled job, again, I select my input, I select my primary format, and in the primary format, I select which encoding preset, file naming template, and auto transfer template. So as you can see, these are the ones that I just previously set up. Same thing goes for the proxy. As you can see, I have the preset for the video, naming preset, and auto transfer preset. I can set duration, I can set date and time for the start, give it a title. Auto split is a very useful function. I can do this, let's say every 10 minutes I want to create new file. This is very useful if you have, like, say, live event and you want to start pushing the files, so they every 10 minutes you have finished piece video, so that can be transferred to the eMAM system, and then can be immediately, the people can start working on editing this piece and, you know, pushing it back towards broadcasting system. All right, and manual is exactly the same, but just do it manually. I'll use obviously this because it's more useful for our format. So I have a file name here. I'll do demo capture, and I have to put the extension of the original file. So this is the way the system will work. Let me just go and do this here. Just a second, because I think my connection to that server, I'm via TeamViewer, it's lagging a little bit. So let me just go one more time. Reload. This is the web interface, so it's very easy to deploy. And as you can see, I have one instance here of the server, but I can have multiple instances, and I can control multiple scheduled ingests, let's say for different channels. On the eMAM, let's say I can do one capture right now, and then half an hour later another capture, and depends on which auto transfer template we select, it will go to a different location and so on. Again, very convenient. With a single instance, you can do you can service a lot of destinations, or we can have multiple ingests on the same server. Depends on the formats you're ingesting, obviously, and the resources on the machine. Okay, so I have my profiles here, as you can see, and I'm ready. So once I push record, it starts ingesting. As you can see, I am ingesting two files, the proxy and the original one. And another feature that we just mentioned was using markers for setting up different information metadata with the file. So let's say I can do one marker here, and then I can go and do another marker here. So I have two markers. I can go inside the marker and give it some meaningful name. Let's say start here. I can add the description, info for this marker, and all this metadata you will see later how it's utilized in the eMAM system. Okay, and now this is still ingesting. In the moment when I press stop, you will see how these files are finished, and then it shows me deleted here, which means they got transferred to the eMAM folder. And now Chuck will continue showing you how this is handled in the eMAM system.
All right, perfect, thanks. So what I'll do is on this system, I'll go ahead and open up and then hit the refresh button here and then look at the dashboard. So we should be able to see, if it hasn't already finished. So this is the asset that's being processed right now into the eMAM system. And what we're doing now is in taking in both the media, the proxy file as well, and then ingesting both and indexing those files. And then we're also going to be bringing in all of the custom metadata and information that's part of those assets that come in. And of course, also the markers that come in as well. So if we look at this, and let's see if it's already done, there it is. So this is the file that Plowman had captured in the system. And then, bringing in different metadata, there's the markers and so on that are coming over as well. So that information's coming over. And then this is where eMAM kind of takes over. So at this point, the editors now have the media available for them to go ahead and edit this content and then start prepping for sequences and so on. Now, we don't have Adobe on this particular system, so we're going to go ahead and utilize a system that I have here in North Carolina. So I'm going to go ahead and actually open up a different project here and bring in some of the media as well. But what's unique about eMAM is within that system and logging and looking at all the different content that's been captured here, I can go in with that metadata, be able to quickly go in and find all of that metadata or search for media based on that metadata, and then look for it here and then see it within the eMAM system. So these are some pre-baked files that we had already captured earlier during our testing and so on. So I then have access to all of this media. I also have within the eMAM system the ability to actually go in and create a timeline or a rough cut within the eMAM system. So you have the ability to go in, find the files that were captured by the Playbox Neo system, find the media, and then just simply just drag and drop that media right onto a timeline here. And so with that media, I'm able to then save this. If I'd like, I could actually stitch this together as is, as a rough cut, or go ahead and bring it over into, say, Adobe Premiere. And so with that, then I'll refresh this. In this Adobe Premiere interface now, I use the panel to then go in and find that, that project that I've just created with that timeline in the rough cut, as well as the media that was brought in. And so with this, we have the ability to go in, import this media, and on ingest, we also can create a mezzanine copy as well as the original copy. We can import that and we could localize it, link it, or streaming it. We actually use Drastic Technologies Media Reactor to actually stream media if this media is actually stored in the cloud. And so in this case here, this is actually stored in the cloud and so on. So we could stream it as well, but I'm just going to go ahead and localize real quick some of the content that I have, and then be able to then look at all of the media here. And if I had markers and so on, those markers would also transfer from eMAM over into Adobe Premiere as well. And so I can actually go in, start searching for additional media, maybe that's saved or organized in a Playbox Neo location here, and look for media and bring that information in as well. I could look for all the content here with video and logos and so on and import that as well. I could also go in and then quickly search for that content, preview the content, and then also import that as well into Adobe Premiere. And once I'm done with this edit here and so on, I can actually go back to the eMAM system and make some notes here on my project. Let's see, notes. We'll go ahead and just do that. And with that, then I could go in and create a rough cut sequence or a full sequence here. I could import or bring back into the MAM system a Premiere project now. So we started out as an eMAM project, but we can now then convert this now to a Premiere project and start managing that and have others check this out to edit and add their edits and whatnot. But the MAM system actually manages not only the media captured, but also any other media that's added to the eMAM system, allows you to then import into projects, and then we basically manage the projects and so on all through the eMAM system here. And then we can create that sequence and so on. For the demo, I won't create a sequence here, but be able to then upload that content as a Premiere project and so on. I think Media Encoder is going to start here for me, but we can then now manage these projects as Premiere projects. And so others can now check this out, be able to then go ahead and edit the content, add more content, maybe new records have come in into the system, and then you can go ahead and bring those into your project and start editing and cutting those as well. So as you can see here, like with Media Encoder, I can go ahead and create a sequence, a rough cut sequence, drop it into eMAM, and then be able to then go ahead and share this with others, maybe do a review and approve with that media. And then, of course, we'll talk next here about sending it out to the Playout system as well. So what's happening now is, well, let me get it through the encoder here. I didn't mean to actually create a project file, but we're going to do that as well. Or I'm sorry, a sequence file. So there we go. So as you can see now in the eMAM system through this panel, it's now a Premiere project. And if I jump back over here and refresh, you'll see now that the original project file, which was an eMAM project file, has now become a Premiere project file. And again, we can manage this, drop in logos. Somebody else could check out this project and so on. So the nice thing about this is, and these are some of the pre-baked files that we put together here, this is kind of where we manage the process, where we're going to then send over to the Playout system then all the media that we've created. So with that, so we can actually go in, let me make sure I get some metadata here. So we can actually go in and look at some of this content, be able to add this content. Let me change a couple of things here in the metadata and prep this for Playout. So we'll go ahead and let's go Steve the Fisher. Okay, and we'll save that data there as well. So what I'm doing here now is I'm adding some of the metadata that's going to now transfer over into the Playout system. Okay, so there's some information here. It's got a category, and Plowman's going to be able to search on this this content here as well. So I'll select these two items here and make sure we've got some notes there. There we go. So what we do now is we can then, I'll clear this out. There we go. I can go in and then select this media now and then send this over to, as a Playout list, over to the Playbox Neo system. And so what I do is I actually have created, or my techs have created for me, the delivery profile for Playbox Neo. Now what this is going to do now is it's actually going to create an XML with a playlist that's has metadata inside it and very specific information that will go over to the Playout system for Plowman to actually use within that that system. So if I go ahead and click the add button here, it's now ready to go to create that XML, and away it goes. And Plowman, now I'm going to turn it back over to you so we can show how it's now going to go into the Playout system.
Okay, so let me first close the interface for the eMAM and the ingest. And basically, I have a folder where this information is being delivered to me. This is the one from right now. It's an XML file, which contains all the metadata that was generated by the eMAM system, and I can simply add it by drag and dropping into my existing, let's say, broadcast playlist. I can do a little bit of rearranging here if I need to. And next, I want to show you actually, you see all this metadata here. It's been imported just by dragging and dropping, very convenient. And you see right now I have graphics, automated graphics. This is our CG solution title box, which creates these graphics. They're based on a very simple tool called graphic rules, which you set different scenarios, and let's say if the category contains nature, it will start title box project, which is the graphic, the CG project, and it will populate the number of objects with text, with I have a scroll, I have a static text field and a clock there. And I can do multiple. This one is for, let's say, if the category is travel. So you can see I have a file here that has a travel as a category. I jump to it. As you can see, 2 seconds after the beginning of the file, the CG project kicks in. You can see the nodes are in a scroll underneath, and the name of the star field, it's published there. So let's do one of the Steve the Fisher. We love Steve the Fisher. So let's see how this one goes. Again, you see automatically populates and takes out the metadata and uses it for generating live broadcast on air graphics. We can trigger different things, logos and so on, based on the category. This is specifically useful, let's say, for a music channel, where automatically you can show the artist name, song name, some information, so on. A lot of features there, and you can keep expanding the system. So Chuck, I guess back to you. This is how
we'll do a recap real quick.
Sorry?
Yeah. So thanks, Plowman. So what we'll do is we'll do a recap here on kind of what we talked about. in the system. And before I do that, I actually wanted to let you know, if you do have any questions, go ahead and add those to the go to webinar section there with questions. Go ahead and type those in and we can answer those here before we end this webinar here. So again, what we talked about was with the eMAM system, immediate asset management, the Playbox Neo system being both record and Playout, and all sorts of graphics and so on as well within a complete box. So full broadcast solution here. We also have integrations with news systems as well in this whole combo here. So check out some of the new systems we're integrated with. Both of us are integrated with as well. So again, on the capture side, again, schedule or manual records with metadata and markers. Within the eMAM system, we can then manage all the recorded media. So once it's recorded, stops, the record stops, then the metadata and the media and the proxies come over into the MAM system. We then have that capability of creating rough cut sequences and images and audio files and various things we can all put together as a project and send that over to, say, Adobe Premiere. And then within Adobe Premiere, of course, do some finishing, import other assets, maybe new records that come in. They'll show up inside of the panel there, and then be able to import those into this particular project, for example, and then add that media, and then, of course, go ahead and create your sequences from that. And again, just to make sure you understand is that we can transfer over metadata during the capture process and markers that's added in the Playbox Neo system. That then transfers over to eMAM as markers. We see markers within the MAM system. Those markers also transfer over into Adobe Premiere as well. So those will be there as well. And then, of course, again, we manage all that metadata. Things can be edited within the MAM system. So if a marker is maybe off a little bit, we can adjust that. Maybe a little bit more descriptions added or more metadata can be added to all of the media and so on before it goes to the playlist. Now, what we do in the playlist is, again, we gather up the media that's going to go over to the Playbox Neo system. And what we do then is we have a customized XML that's created. So again, it's not so much it's uniform, it's something where we can customize for each client and be able to then tag which specific metadata they want to map between the two of us. And then once that's done, we then create what we call a delivery profile. That delivery profile delivers not only the media or links to the media, but also the metadata associated with that, each of those assets. And so when they transfer over, and as Plumman had done, he took that XML that was created from this delivery profile, drug it into the Playout system, and then of course all that metadata is there ready to go inside the Playout system. So the easiest way to do that when you're selecting the media, again, you use the search tools within the MAM system to find very specific content, all based on maybe some of the metadata that was associated with it, be able to find that, select the media, and then select add to delivery within that option. And then with that, then you select in the predefined delivery profile that then creates that XML, and then that XML drops into a watch folder that then the operator for the playlist, they grab that file, drag it right into the Playbox Neo system for Playout, and then rearrange, trim. Of course, you can do trimming as well before it goes out to air, and then create the playlist and hit go. So with that, we'll go ahead and see if there's any questions that you might have. Within the GoToMeeting webinar, there are questions in there where you can actually go ahead and type in your questions. We can answer those for you. Also, with this system, this can also be up in the cloud completely or on-prem. We also have hybrid solutions. We also have solutions where we include also other encoders like Drastic Technologies. We utilize their technology to also do other types of outputs that are required as well. We're also integrated with SNews. That's another new system as well. We have a MOS integration, eMAM does with that, and then Playbox also has integration with SNews as well. So one question that did come in, Plumman, is what type of hardware and things are required for the Playout or Playbox Neo system?
Playbox Neo system runs on a standard off-the-shelf servers. Basically, we are a software company, so everything is a standard hardware. The latest class Intel processors. Fairly fast machine with NVIDIA card, because we're utilizing encoding on the GPU on the video card. So that helps with encoding, so you can have more instances per machine to encode. But other than that, there is not anything custom or something like that. It's a standard hardware, but the best solution is talk to our guys or sales representatives and explain exactly your needs. Depends on how many channels you need, or what kind of files you need to encode. Let's say if you need 4K files, it's one scenario, hardware wise, and so on. So, but it's fairly straightforward to create the system. We offer also complete solution server with the software, which is probably 90-something% of the cases. We have systems around the world.
Okay, and then also we both can run in the cloud, correct?
Yes, it can be on the cloud. I mean, we actually right now, I don't know how many thousand kilometers or miles from Czech, and we're both using system that are on a virtual machine somewhere. So you see, it's working without any issues, as long as you can map properly the storages and have a connection to the systems. Everything can be placed whatever your specific infrastructure requires.
Okay. And then also there's some questions about managing storage and LTO library systems. So the eMAM system can be used as also an archive solution. So typical situations are if someone's keeping archived video of politicians, of news events, special corporate events, and various concerts and whatnot. The eMAM system can then archive all of that media, not only local, but also in the cloud or in multiple facilities. We have in a hybrid mode where we can manage both on-prem locations, so multiple locations, as well as up in the cloud as well. So you can manage that and have eMAM go ahead and be able to store all that information. They use the director interface to go back into the archive and find the content they're looking for, and then restore that content, drop it down into say Adobe Premiere, and make some new edits and so on. But the original stays in together, so we don't destroy any of the original content, but you can, of course, make any types of subclips and various sequences and combination of videos and so on within Adobe Premiere there as well. So we will also manage local LTO library systems. We can also manage multiple types of transcoders and various things for both ingest and also Playout as well. Number of things that we can also show you at NAB. We'll both be at NAB this year. So look for us there, and we'd be happy to kind of get into specifics of your needs and so on, and kind of go through some of the different, different workflows, things like that you might have there as well. Another question that just came in to create, let's see, long question here. So seeing that there is an eMAM panel with Adobe, are there any future plans to create a direct eMAM integration with Airbox and kick out playlists, assets at Airbox? Not sure that's going to be in the cards right now, but just keep asking, or we'll just check that out as well. But for the most part, working with Playbox and so on, it's been a fairly easy integration, and we can again continue on and create better workflows and so on as we go forward on the furthering the integration. I don't know, any additions to that, Plumman?
I mean, look, as you see, we're dealing with sort of in the preparation stage where we can browse through large amounts of media, organize files, create different versions of video files and so on. And then this is transferred into the Playbox Neo system to create, you can go through Listbox, which is an offline scheduling interface, which is exactly like the broadcast one, or I can go straight into a broadcast, drag a couple of these transferred files. But what you're asking is probably to create playlists with the files organized in the eMAM. This typically is a traffic system or, functionality. So the traffic system creates scheduling of the playlists. What we do here is we deal with assets, ingest, and organizing with the assets, and then bringing them into the system, and then the next system can take over and do whatever necessary with this stuff. Because there is not only media, in the broadcast, there is a secondary events for graphics, for different other devices and so on.
Okay, and then there's also workflows within the eMAM system where you can put a date and a time for assets to be delivered over to the Playout system as well. So if a scheduled date for an asset is reached on the server, that automatically the media could be sent over with the XML directly to the Playout system. But we would just have to go do a little bit further integration for it to actually just show up directly. So some of those things we'll get back with you and let you know, and we'll keep you guys all posted for that. Another question came in about eMAM supporting LTO library storage, and that is true. We support a number of LTO library systems. So if you want, you can check out our website at emamsolutions.com, look under partners, and you'll see all the ones that we do support there as well. Okay. Any other questions that came in? If not, I really appreciate everybody kind of joining in and joining the webinar. And hopefully we were able to at least get a little bit of information out to you and so on. And we'll try to keep you posted. The actual recording here will also be available. And so with that, then we can share the link for you to be able to share with others as well. One of the questions just came in, does eMAM already have export capabilities to traffic software? Yes, and we do. It's typically a customized work where we create whatever specific traffic software you have that is required for like XML sidecar information. We also work with I just named Omnion, and boy, it just escaped me. But we actually are currently working with a customer where we are creating XML specific for their traffic system to pick up with metadata and segmentation as well, by the way, for episodic videos or media as well. So we do support segmentation on that. And then we also deliver metadata specific to the automation system that we're delivering to. Are there any limitations to how many items can be imported into your box via the XML? For example, if you kicked out a playlist contained very large library, really, I don't believe there is any limitation.
No, there is no limitation.
Yeah. Because we just tag the media, and there could be 100 files in there, and we would just put that in the XML listed, and it will automatically be delivered over to the Playout system there as well. Okay, again, Plumman, thank you so much for all your help on this and all the information, and look forward to our next time we get together and do this again.
Thank you very much. Thank you everybody for joining.
All right, take care, guys.